Taurus, how are you doing? So I'm going to be doing your February 2021 reading, and we're going to be looking at some of the key important dates, also some of the issues that are surrounding this star sign in particular. If this doesn't resonate, please do check out your rising sign, because I also think that's very important. And what I like to do is blend them both together, so I have my sun sign and my rising sign. And I think that gives me a little bit more information than I would have if I just used my star sign, for example. But yeah, let's find out some messages for Taurus 2021 February. I'll get one more. Okay. Let's look at this then. Okay, so the first thing that I see is that you're not going to be struggling as such, but I think that your work or studies is going to take up a lot of your time in February. We have the Six of Wands in reverse and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and we definitely know that we have a stellium this month, which is actually when we have a cluster of planets in a particular house. So you guys have a stellium in your 10th house, okay, which is very focused on work and job and career related matters. And a stellium is 7 planets, and they're going to be in Aquarius this month. So this is definitely going to be in your 10th house. It's going to be really related to finances. Obviously, Taurus is an earth energy anyway, so finances do tend to take up a lot of the kind of focus with this star sign. But in particular, what I see here is that you are, needing to master something. You're needing to try to perfect something, but it's not going so well. It's almost like you have to put more of your time and energy into your work and studies in order to kind of get the benefit. You wouldn't normally have to do that so much, but this month you're having to push it a little bit more, which can be quite draining. I think you're also going to be feeling the kind of exhaustion from that with this Four of Cups. Feeling a little bit tired from that. I think in particular, this month is going to hit the ground a little bit rocky, but it's going to go up from there. I definitely see that. And I think in particular, Valentine's Day is going to be amazing. It's going to bring some really good rewards. But I think that you may feel a little bit tired this month, almost like you just want to run away a little bit. But that's actually very normal, especially when we're really pushing it with work-related matters. So that's what I see for this kind of start of the month. It's particularly, like I say, on the 11th with the stellium in your 10th house is going to be very important when it comes to job and career-related matters. However, this will pay off. This will pay off. We've got this have faith card. Have faith that everything will pay off. Your work is not for naught. Your work will bring good rewards. And we actually have a sense of, as we kind of go, and we actually have a sense that after the 11th, we have a little bit more of a balance and a harmony. So we have these two together. We have the Two of Swords and the Star. So we have an Aquarius, as I say, we have Aquarius season at the moment. But we also have this Two of Swords, which is, to me, a kind of a Libra. So we have a lot of air energy here. And what that does is it brings a little bit more of logic and maturity to your star sign with this Two of Wands, which is very much about maturity. It is very much about reaching your goals. So you're going to have a little bit more balance when it comes to reaching your goals, and that is in relation to the work matter, okay? I definitely think that, that star card is perfect for this Four of Cups, and that you feel a little bit like tired and running away, and also not feeling so motivated all the time. But actually, you will feel more motivated. And I think actually, it's almost like a reverse effect. It's like the more work you do, the more you'll want to work. And so that Two of Wands is very important when it comes to being mature and going after your goals, but you won't be pushing it one way or the other. And the reason I mention this is because I think, particularly for Taurus this month, things can be a little bit in excess, okay? So try not to veer too much to, again, I'm not telling you what to do here, but, you know, try not to veer too much to drinking lots of alcohol, to eating a lot, to, you know, overindulging in things, because that's going to rock the balance off. And I think in particular, this card is really coming through with the fact that we're kind of indulging a little bit. And I kind of mentioned that actually, because I think it's also interesting to talk a little bit about this Knight of Swords in reverse. And it almost says to me like feeling a weakness, like there's not much self-control. So we kind of need to balance ourselves out. So this month, you know, the self-control is sort of not there. And I really think that's also linked to feeling, you know, again, tired with this work-related matter and feeling that you maybe not as skilled as, you know, you thought you were. So you're like, okay, actually, I'm motivated to do more things, especially with making decisions in life. But actually, generally, this is quite good for career. I don't see career as being a bad thing. I just see that you're putting a bit more effort in this month than you normally would. If you don't have a job and you're studying, for example, then that's part of this too. But definitely a sense of balance and harmony there, and with a lot of air energy too, okay? We also have a little bit more air energy with this Ten of Swords as well, which isn't always the best card, but I'll put it into context. I generally think that that's linked to what I mentioned about overindulging, because I think that, you know, when we're in our feelings, we tend to overeat and we comfort eat, and there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, the Germans have a great phrase for this. It's called grief bacon. And it basically just means that you're overeating your feelings. And I think that, you know, maybe you are more inclined this month to be like, oh my God, I'm just kind of going into negative habits. And of course, that's up to you to totally get yourself out of that and actually find the balance and harmony and to not feel like that. But also for some of you, you're feeling just a little bit overwhelmed before the 11th when the stellium hits, okay? So after the stellium, we are starting to feel a little bit more like, what am I achieving here? You know, what am I actually doing with my life? And the reason I say that is because we've got this Seven of Wands in reverse, which is kind of suggesting that we're thinking a little bit more about how we can gain on the success that we've already done. Okay, so how can we build upon that? How can we really work towards being the best person that we can be with our finances in particular, but also with our personal growth as well? And again, that is linked to the maturity and the goals of the Two of Wands. So those together, it's like trying to think a little bit about what I can really do with my life and how I can move forward. What progression is there, for example? Okay, and you know, I think you'll tend to feel a little bit, again with that Ten of Swords, linked to feeling like there's a conquest you haven't quite gotten with this Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, and that is suggesting to me that we are stuck on something here. I think some of you might have given up on a kind of love interest, and you really shouldn't, because definitely on Valentine's Day you're going to get some really interesting surprises. There's a couple of, I think, things that will happen that you're like, oh, that is a pleasant surprise. I did not realise that. So I think you're going to have actually a quite interesting Valentine's Day. And I'll pull a love card without trying to catch myself on fire and see what's going on. For those of you that are interested in love, if you're not, obviously just ignore this. Ooh, so she fell out. Okay, it's safe for you to love and retreat. Beautiful. Do you know what I love about that? It's safe for you to love is basically the Star card. So this can actually be very potent for romance as well. So it is safe for you to love, open your heart, and you receive the highest energy of all, which is so gorgeous, isn't it? So you guys, I think, maybe wanting to give up on something because you're not getting a lot of movement, for example, you know, feeling like this is a conquest you just won't win and it's kind of hurting you, it's bringing you a lot of pain and grief. But actually, if you stick in there, you will get some rewards from it, especially towards the 23rd of February with the Star card, and that's safe for you to love. We've also got the Retreat card, time to disconnect from the world. I really like this card, actually. This is my kind of hermit version of the love card, and this is kind of linked to the balance, you know, finding harmony, retreating and finding some semblance of peace. Okay, but also retreating is a very mature thing to do. You know, it's a very mature thing to look after yourself. Again, there's just a sense of not pushing it too hard this month, you know, not pushing it to an excess. Okay, so I think that those two together is really, really beautiful. Again, having trust, faith, and hope in a romantic situation, but also just taking the time for ourselves as well. So on Valentine's Day, the moon's going to visit your sign in particular on Valentine's Day. So it's actually a really good sign for, blessings and gifts. And also this has got like a 2-day gap. So it doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day. It can be before or after. So don't panic if it's not smack bang on the day. But you will get some kind of movement and build. And again, it's going to be quite surprising for you as well. Okay, so I'm just going to get another card because I feel that there's an issue related to when you have to do all your adult stuff, like your goals and things like that. There's just something in the way there. Okay. 7 of Pentacles. This is about hard work and progress. Again, this is something that is going to pay off with wealth. Again, it's just reiterating what I'm saying about you having to do a lot more work this month than you thought you would be. Things just getting a little bit ramped up, for example. Okay, 2 Pentacles and the Hierophant. The Emperor, sorry. In reverse. Yes, okay. This is kind of what I was thinking. I was like, something is itching on me there. So hard work and success definitely linked to having to work a little bit more. So that is, there's no escaping that part of this reading. 2 of Pentacles with the Emperor in reverse. Interesting, because the Emperor in reverse, again, is this lack of self-control. So you guys need to be careful about losing control this month, okay? You need to be careful about keeping yourself in balance and harmony, keeping yourself in check. And for example, I think the Emperor, it's also about not worrying too much about, things going wrong, just sort of accepting them. I think this month is a great month for you to have challenges and hit them out of the park, really keep going, and also just, being mature about it with that 2 of Wands in particular. 2 of Pentacles here, and the fact that I have that with the Emperor together, it suggests there's some kind of, if you guys have got a car or you've got something that's mechanical, it might need to be serviced or something needs to happen with it, because that 2 of Pentacles suggests to me that with the Emperor in reverse, there's something that does things for you that isn't going to be working for you in particular. So there's going to be trouble with something that works for you. And when I say things that work for you, that always makes me think of mechanical things like a car, a washing machine, any kind of mechanical utility that you use, outlet, whatever you call it. There's some sense of, if you're hearing weird noises, get it checked out, because it needs to be sorted out. And I think that in particular, that's more towards the end of the month. But yeah, definitely that 2 of Pentacles is a sense of, if you don't see the trouble on the horizon, it's going to come a lot harder than you thought it would be. So for example, you hear a knocking on your car, go and get it checked out, because if you don't, bam, something bigger happens, And I also liken it to like health as well, if you feel that it's just a small thing, I'll just let it slide. If you let it slide, it goes into something bigger. So this is all about it, towards the end of the month, checking on problems, okay? Not just letting them sit there. Like, we have to be able to look at them and be like, okay, this is a problem. And I think it's very important for us to do that in particular. Okay, so I mentioned some of the most important dates with the start of the month, particularly literally the first day. And then I also mentioned the 11th, 14th and the 23rd. But let me just pull another date as well. Okay, the 10th, yeah, so just before the 11th, so kind of rising up to that stellium. Yeah, the 10th, but also, as I mentioned, the stellium is in your 10th house, so 10 is an important number this month. So keep an eye on that. 10 is important, can also in numerology mean 1 as well, so 1 and 10 can be important numbers for you in particular. Yeah, so that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I hope you have an amazing February, and I'll see you around. Bye, guys.